All right, so I was explaining stocks to my kids. All right, and I was saying that like if we buy a Disney stock, we own a microscopic piece of the trash can and of the Mickey Mouse costume and the roller coaster and Disney Plus and everything else. And they thought that was a cool concept. So I made them each pick a stock, and one picked McDonald's and one picked Chipotle. So they gave me their responses, right? And one was like, well, this one has great business. This one maybe has more opportunity. Then we looked at the price of the margin of the particular return. Give me your best response of why you should pick McDonald's over Chipotle or Chipotle over McDonald's.
Yeah. Okay, good. No, I love that you're doing this with your kids because it's going to make them smart in ways that school will not. And so this is some of the most important things you can teach a kid because, as you know, money rules that cash rules everything around me.
and I like hearing, I always enjoy hearing your analysis of stocks because I learn about the businesses and I learn about what things you're looking at when you're thinking about the business, both in actual numbers and like your emotional gut feeling and head feeling about where the future will go. So tell me why McDonald's or Chipotle or either one.
Okay. I have to preface that by saying I'm not an expert in casual dining. So I can have my opinion, but if you were to voir dire me as an expert in this area, I would not qualify in court as an expert in McDonald's or Chipotle. But I have followed them. Actually, we my wife's grandfather bought her a McDonald's stock when she was a kid, few $100 or whatever, and over, I don't know, 20 years or so, it grew into like $10,000. And so when we got married, we cashed that out and got her a new car, a down payment on a new car with it.
Wow.
So I do like McDonald's for that reason.
Good. Well, I'm just testing. I'm cold calling. I didn't even tell you about this, so
Yeah.
I'm interested.
So Chipotle. Let's talk about Chipotle. So fast growing, famously owned by Bill Ackman, a big time, very successful, controversial, very successful investor. When you look at the business of Chipotle and you look year over year, every single year they're making a bunch more money than they made the year before. And a business like that earns a premium because you start to think, well, shoot, if they keep growing at 20% a year, I mean, this thing is going to be massive.
But that's priced in too, though, right?
Well, the consensus expectation is priced in. So what most people think is going to happen usually is what happens, and that's priced in. But sometimes that's not what happens. So do you remember the E. coli outbreak with Chipotle?
Yes.
So that was like a generational opportunity to buy a great growing business because of a short-term headwind. So another thing I would say with Chipotle versus McDonald's, what are they currently valued at? I can tell you right now, McDonald's is about a $120 billion company. I think Chipotle is similar, although I don't really have a clue. Also, Chipotle just lost its CEO. The CEO of Chipotle grew the crap out of that company, put together a brilliant plan and executed the plan, and that's why it grew so much. And now Starbucks is struggling like crazy. Their stock's way down, and they just poached Chipotle's CEO to come in and fix Starbucks for them.
What happened to those two stocks when the CEO left?
Starbucks popped and Chipotle dropped.
Why is that so important?
Because because a company is just a group of people. And you need leadership and vision, and there's so few people who are capable of being a great CEO. When you lose your CEO, that's not good. When you gain a CEO who's just coming off of like World Series champion style success, it's like, oh man, how can I not bet on this stock? So you have Chipotle, which obviously Chipotle is more risky than McDonald's. Because it's newer, it's less. I mean, we all know McDonald's. There's a McDonald's every 10 feet, you know. And when you look at the numbers, McDonald's continues to make money and grow and grow and grow. They're growing at a much slower rate, but it's consistent year in, year out, always growing, always improving. The menu's getting better. They're able to charge more and more. Remember, dude, when we were kids, you could get a McDonald's Happy Meal for like $4. You can't get a meal for less than $10 at McDonald's on anything. It's like actually not as cheap as it used to be. So they have incredible pricing power.
And so another thing at Chipotle, like they had a scandal about underserving their plates or reducing their portion size.
Yeah, people would go and do their own experiments and weigh their plates, and yeah, it became a big deal, portion size.
And that could turn some customers off, that could affect stock price.
It did. Yeah, it turned people off. But what the CEO bet on the trend of people wanting higher quality food. And he bet on creating a fast food restaurant that didn't feel like you're eating fast food. And that turned out to be a very good idea.
And as we're comparing Chipotle to McDonald's, McDonald's is facing the headwinds of an Ozempic population that's eating less. Yeah. They're facing more scrutiny on the food and the food quality, right? So
that's been for a long time, but it's coming to a head even more now. I mean, I remember when I was a little kid, we just saw there's rumors in school like, yeah, Taco Bell, they actually use dog meat. Like they've never had the image of being healthy food, but over time, Americans are like really unhealthy in a lot of ways. Like a lot of the population has a problem, health problems caused by what they eat. And so that's come to a head. And that's partly why McDonald's can charge more, is because they up the quality of their ingredients. Supposedly, I still see the videos online of like the pink sludge and like, this is what you're eating at McDonald's, But they both provide a valuable service.
Give me some of the qualities of McDonald's that you would consider in purchasing the stock.
Good qualities that I like about McDonald's?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
from an investor standpoint.
Yeah. So first of all, they have an obvious competitive advantage. They have all the prime real estate locations. They have
Don't they own the real estate too?
Yeah, so they're a huge real estate company. They own the real estate, they lease it to the franchisees. The ability to fill your drive-through with not your marketing, but the franchisor. I do all the marketing. I'm the one who gets the butts and the seats at your restaurant. All you have to do is operate the place. So I'm making the money off the real estate. I'm making the franchise fees. And there's really no, I find it highly unlikely that people are going to abandon McDonald's anytime soon. They have staying power. They have
the brand.
Share of mind.
So they're one of the biggest real estate companies in the world. Mm-hmm. They have a recognizable brand, and they seem to adjust well to new movements, right?
Yeah, they've shown time and time again their ability to pivot and stay with where their customers want to go.
And so, what would you buy? Chipotle, McDonald's? If you had to choose, if you had,
that comes down to my personality, and I see Chipotle as the better product. You eat a bunch of Chipotle, you're getting good food. You eat a bunch of McDonald's,
you sit on the couch.
It's not
hating life.
It's not great. Yeah, right. It's just sweat and sodium. And Chipotle's more expensive, which I used to be like, I only wanted to buy the cheap undervalue. I wanted to go dumpster diving and find, something that's actually worth $5 that I could buy for $1 because no one else wanted it, something like that. But now I actually think high quality, staying power. If I'm thinking decades out. When I think decades out, I'm like, I'm pretty freaking sure McDonald's is going to be there. I don't know if Chipotle will be there or not. That's less certain. But I think the bigger opportunity lies in Chipotle. And so as a young enterprising investor, I would say I'm going to take a swing here. But if you stay back and buy McDonald's instead, like, no sweat. Go on vacation, chill. It's going to be fine, and you're going to get your little dividend, and you're not going to make a ton of money, although you always could. You never know.
So McDonald's pays a dividend, Chipotle does not?
I don't think Chipotle pays a dividend. That's another sort of aspect of like, are you in high growth mode? If there's a lot of growth to be had, I'm going to keep all the money and reinvest it in the business. That's why you own my stock, not so I could just hand you your money back, right? Then there's other type of companies that are more mature, more stable. You can depend on them, and you can rely on it for a little bit of income.
At this stage of my career where I have a good income, I'm not at the retirement age, would you recommend that I have dividend stocks, or would you recommend that I have growth stocks?
Dividends are forced taxation. You don't get a choice. If you own a stock that pays a dividend, you're going to receive the dividend. You're going to receive a tax bill for it. All else being equal, I would rather not have the dividend because I don't need the income. I'm not even trying to spend it. All I do is reinvest the dividend back into that same stock anyway, so it's just forcing me to pay a tax that I probably don't want to pay.
And you can maybe even give that share to your kid or grandkid one day and probably get around some of the taxation.
Yeah. By the time we die, I don't know what things are going to look like. But for now, what
you inherit the basis, just like a
stepped up basis. Yeah, that's the big thing. If I give you that stock while I'm still alive, you have to pay tax on the gains based on, what you have my basis, put it that way. But if I wait until I die and then you receive it, your tax liability goes to zero.